go ahead and get started. I'll ask everyone to please stand. I'm going to ask Commissioner Branch if he'll lead us with a word of prayer, and then we'll remain standing for the pledge immediately afterwards.
Let's pray. God, we thank you for another day. We thank you for allowing us to be here. Thank you for Jackson County and allowing us to live there. We ask that you bless us all today. We ask for guidance on every decision made. In Christ's name, amen.
Amen. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We're getting started a little bit early this morning, so it's a little of a deviation from our normal time. I'm assuming that might be why we're missing two of our commissioners. I don't know that for a fact, but we're going to go ahead and get started anyway. I'd like to welcome everyone to the meeting and remind everyone if you would like to speak to any issue that's either on the agenda or not on the agenda, please come to the podium, state your name for the record, and state why you're here. And we'd like to ask that you limit your comments to 3 minutes or less. With that being said, we've got the agenda. Mr. Dean, is there any additions to the agenda?
No additions and no deletions.
Okay.
But I would like to introduce our interim counsel.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
With us today is Attorney Carrie Parsons with Neighbors, Gibling and Dickerson. And she will be our interim attorney for a period of time. And wanted to introduce her this morning.
Yeah,
Good morning. Happy to be here and help I can provide, please let me know.
all right, very good. Thank you, Carrie, for being here and helping us get through this interim time. With that being said, since there's no additions or deletions to the agenda, Chair will entertain a motion to approve the
Mr.
agenda.
Chairman, I make a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
You got a motion from Commissioner Crutchfield, second from Commissioner Branch. Any questions, comments? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion, please signify by raising the right hand. All opposed, motion carries unanimously. Thank you. Looking down to the next section 1, recognitions, resolutions, and presentations. Mr. Dean, we've got recognition of Employee of the Month for December.
Yes, sir. And Ms. Tammy Dasher is here to introduce, make that recommendation. So Ms. Tammy.
Hello, board members. Thank you. Whereas Jackson County has established an Employee of the Month program to recognize one employee to represent various departments, and whereas Jordan Gassett began her employment with the county on November 8th, 2023, she currently serves as transition for Next Step and has been selected as Employee of the Month for December 2025 for the standards that she has displayed in the performance of her job duties. And whereas Jordan is a hardworking, dedicated, and knowledgeable employee, every day she goes above and beyond her job duties. She strives for excellence every day. And whereas Jordan is dedicated to the mission of being for Jackson County, in her role as transition coach at Next Step Academy, she works tirelessly to facilitate success for the autistic adults we serve. She is dependable, hardworking, and supremely competent as she provides job and independent living coaching to our students. She is quick to respond to feedback and is enthusiastic about professional development that makes her a better coach and teacher. And whereas Jordan has a withedness that the employers we support appreciate, and most importantly, she personifies our shared motto of being for the people we serve. She's kind, compassionate, and dedicated to making a difference in the lives of Jackson County's autistic citizens. Jordan is an asset to our team, and we are fortunate to work alongside her. She embodies the county's mission of for Jackson, for future, for you. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that the Board of County Commissioners of Jackson County, Florida commends and congratulates Jordan on her selection as Employee of the Month for December 2025.
Hey, Jordan, we certainly appreciate your hard work, your dedication to Jackson County, and your dedication to the Next Step program, and we congratulate you for this well-deserved honor. And with that being said, Chair will entertain a motion to approve Mrs. Gassett as Employee of the Month. So got a motion from Commissioner Spires. Second from Commissioner Crutchfield. Any questions, comments? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion as stated, please signify by raising the right hand. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries unanimously again. Thank you so much for your hard work and again, your dedication to Jackson County. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ken. Next on the agenda, under section one, item two is resolution. This is removal of Pusher Road paving project, phase two from the FDOT 5-year work program. Mr. Dean?
Mr. Donapro, this is FDOT funding only. At some point in time in the history of the Pusher Road project, there were FDOT funds made available as part of the 5-year work plan to pave Pusher Road. We no longer need those funds to accomplish the work that is now going to be done. So FDOT is requiring that we adopt a resolution that formally removes the funding that was on the 5-year work plan. So we're asking the board to approve the resolution removing the funding from the 5-year work plan for FDOT.
Is this associated with the east end of that, or is it kind of tied together with several of the phases?
Anybody can jump in, but as I understand it, there was three sections, the east westerly section, the middle section, and the eastern section. And FDOT originally was associated with the middle section and potentially the east section. So we apparently, well, we did get better prices than what we thought. We were able to complete more of Pusher Road with the funding from the governor's job growth grant money. And so now we, because we can't do the entire road in accordance with plans and specs that were DOT approved, we no longer need these dollars, and we cannot move these dollars to another road. They would not let us.
Okay, you've heard the explanation from Mr. Dean.
Yeah, I make a motion to adopt the resolution and authorize the chairman to sign.
Got a motion from Commissioner Crutchfield, second from Commissioner Spires. Any questions? Mr. Branch, go ahead.
I know it doesn't affect the western project, the west end project. The middle one, were we able to do that whole middle section, or did we have to part it out?
So the middle section is gonna be split, then you come all the way from Penn Avenue, it'll come through the intersection of, Old Air Base and about halfway between Old Air Base and, Temple.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, we got a motion and a second from Commissioner Spires, second from Commissioner Spires. All those in favor of the motion as stated, please signify by raising the right hand. All opposed, same sign. That motion also carries unanimously.
Question, Chair.
Go ahead, Mr. Meyer.
Mr. Day, you mentioned you cannot transfer those funds to another road. Is there a possibility we could include another road instead of Pusher at a later point in time?
I'm sorry, I don't understand, Mr. Spires.
You said we could not transfer the funds that were left over from Pusher.
Yes, sir.
My question is it possible that we could, at some later point in time, choose another road to go in the 5-year plan instead of?
Oh, yes, sir. We will be submitting applications, between now and I can't remember I think it's March for, SCOT program dollars, scrap program dollars, and CPIG dollars. And so, yes, there will be additional roads placed on the 5-year work plan.
Is there a process in place by which, how to choose that road? Those
Yes,
roads?
sir. I have briefly mentioned that to the commissioners in the past, and I actually have an updated spreadsheet that shows what those applications would be, Mr. Spires. So I'll be glad to give you one right after this meeting.
Thank you. That's all I have.
Any other questions, Commissioner?
Yeah, it's sad we can't do that all the way through.
Mhm.
But I mean, that's pretty much a through road, a lot of traffic on it. Plus, it's a road taking people off a state road to another state road. You know, it's a cut through road like that, and we have, got the chance to get the money, but it's sad we can't complete
I would
it.
say that staff, Mr. Dean, Mr. Daniels, Mr. Register worked hard with contacting and having communications with a number of the property owners that were along both sides of that road. And for whatever reason, they just were not interested in giving up the right of way that was necessary for the drainage improvements, even though it was, in most cases, I think I'm correct if by saying this, in most cases, it was very little land that they were being asked to give up. And I think in some cases, we actually even looked at purchasing that land for a fair market price. And they just were not interested in having that road paved. And I'm like Commissioner Crutchfield, I think it's a shame because we did have to turn back money and it wouldn't, that's been in the long range plan to have that road paved from 71 to or from 73 all the way over to Penn Avenue. So it's disappointing. Commissioner Myers.
Was there a large span of property owners who were unwilling to give property?
And Rick can jump in if he wants to, but I would say it's more than 10 property owners that were unwilling to give up any right of way and actually stated they did not want it to be a paved road.
Okay. I'm just thinking back in the past, I know I paved the road several years ago, and there was a couple of property owners who did not want to give property.
Yes.
Just simply narrowed the road at that point and then widen it back out to speed specifications once we pass those homes.
Mr. Daniels.
Yeah, so just wanted to clarify, I misspoke previously. It does go through Pebble Hill as well.
Right.
The project will go between Pebble Hill and Wynn, not.
Goes down to the bottom, kind of to the bottom of that hill, doesn't it? Pretty close to it.
And to Dr. Fire's point, one of the issues we had, this started as a HMDP project to eliminate the water situation coming from the east end where that sink area is. And we didn't have enough space to get drainage in, so we had to elevate the road and expand the slopes to get the cross pipes in. So there were cases where we didn't need as much, but in that specific area, we had property owners unwilling to work with us. So without the drainage portion of the project, the pavement was irrelevant.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir.
And I will also add that we could have gone through a process of forcing them to sell the property. I'm typically not in favor of that. I think we made the decision just not go down that road.
We've never used given a domain before,
All right.
since I've been on board.
Okay, any other questions? Okay, hearing none, we'll close that out. We'll move into section 2, which is a public hearing. We've got a request for us to approve and adopt an ordinance for the Jackson County Comprehensive Plan Capital Improvements of 5-year schedule for fiscal years 2025 through 2030. You want to read that ordinance by title, and then we'll open up a public hearing?
Yes, sir. The ordinance, an ordinance of Jackson County, Florida, adopting the capital improvements element 5-year capital improvement project update pursuant to the Local Government Comprehensive Planning and Land Development Regulation Act, Chapter 163, Florida statutes, providing for servability and providing for an effective date.
Thank you, Mr. Dean. I'm going to close out the regular meeting, open up a public hearing. I'll ask, is there anyone in the audience wishing to speak either for or against the adoption of this ordinance? Seeing no hands in the audience. Fred, is there anyone online wishing to speak to this issue, either for or against it?
I do have one hand up.
Okay. I think we can hear you. If you would, state your name if you can hear us for the record, and go ahead and say what you would like to say.
Karen Schoen from Greenwood. And I'd like to talk for a minute about the goal of this plan. I was in front of you before, and I asked you to please define what urban sprawl was, and no one could do that, and I don't see a definition. Therefore, I think it's very difficult to pass something when you don't know what the words mean. Urban sprawl will eliminate, by eliminating urban sprawl, the definition is single-family housing with land. And is that what you really want to eliminate in the county? It also, urban sprawl also addresses automobiles and limiting the use of automobiles and bringing in mass transportation. And again, is that what we want to do in Jackson County? So I would request that you either delete that section from the goal, or let's have a further discussion and define what urban sprawl is and how it will affect the people of the county. Thank you.
Karen. Thank you, Karen. I think I answered the question. My definition of urban sprawl is when you have significant growth exceeding the infrastructure, whether it's transportation infrastructure or whether it's utility infrastructure. That to me is urban sprawl. I don't know if it's defined in the comprehensive plan. Kim, you want to maybe speak to that?
That's a great definition. I see how it could be more clear.
I will say this, Karen, if you're still on there, that the county, both planning and zoning board nor the commission has, with previous action or set precedents to deny any, single-family homes on, what I would call large tracts of property or even medium-sized tracts of property. We've given development orders for single-family homes, on 5-acre parcels, 10-acre parcels. So I don't think at this point in time, that's a concern. At some point in time, it may be, but at this point in time, I don't think it's a concern.
My problem may not be with you at the moment, but what happens to the next team that comes in if you are not elected? I believe the words should be defined because what it means to you is not what it means to someone else, definitely not what it means to me. And I'm just looking for a definition that should go in the plan so that people know what it is that we're voting for. And it's great to have a plan, but if you don't define the words, then how do you know what the plan is applicable to?
Good. All right. Thank you. Anything else? Okay. With Michelle not indicating she has anything else to say, Carol, entertain a motion to adopt the. Anyone else online, Fred, indicating they'd like to speak?
Just as a reminder to anybody online, if they'd like to speak, they may use the raise hand feature on Zoom. I see no hands.
Thank you, Fred. With that being said, we'll close out the public hearing, go back into our regular session.
Oh, if I may just
Yes,
add,
go ahead.
urban sprawl is a factor test that's actually found in the statutes in chapter 163. And it's implied every single time that you have an application before you. So although it's not particularly defined in your code and provisions, I know staff looks at it and reviews it when they're looking for whether or not something would meet the factor test for urban sprawl.
Okay, thank you, Carrie.
Question 3, would infrastructure development impact that decision each time?
It would potentially. There's a whole set and laundry list of factors to consider anytime, and it's a fact by fact based test that you look at.
Okay. So what's applicable today may not be applicable 5 years from now.
Correct.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other questions? Comments? Chair will entertain a motion to approve the Jackson County Comprehensive Plan Capital Improvement Element 5-year schedule update.
I make a motion to approve the Jackson County Comprehensive Plan Capital Improvement Element 5-year schedule update for fiscal year 25 to 2030, adopt by ordinance and authorize the chairman to sign.
Thank you. Got a motion from Commissioner Crutchfield. Is that second?
No, I said I have a question.
Yes, absolutely.
For the attorney. During that time, if we vote for this today, can you amend that in the future?
Certainly. Are you asking if you can amend the 5-year plan or the
If we don't like, if something comes up with this urban sprawl, can we amend it to what?
Yes.
Even though it's in the comprehensive plan now, can you amend it?
Yep, you just have to amend the comp plan.
Kim, you want to add to that? There's a process that you go through to amend the comprehensive plan. I think there are some restrictions relative to some sort of amendments. Is that correct?
I did want to address that particular question. The capital improvements element, we update it every year. So even though it's a 5-year plan, it's updated every year and it's the rolling 5 years. So in general, urban sprawl doesn't particularly impact the projects that are listed on the capital improvements element. That would be more pertinent to developments that come in through the development process that are submitted directly to community development. So unless there's like a particular project that would encompass all of the criteria that we look at for urban sprawl, it's not going to be included on the capital improvements element necessarily. But that being said, we can update it any time that we want to. It's a major comp plan amendment if we do it more than once per year.
Once per year.
Yes.
Question, Mr. Chairman.
Go ahead.
Does urban sprawl, does it take into consideration industrial development and housing, or just one or the other? Or?
We look at it for all sorts of development. Mainly it's thought of in the context of housing. So if you got an application for like a large subdivision, and there weren't any public services available to that subdivision, that's when, and it was like out in the middle of nowhere. That is one thing that we would consider. How are they going to get services to those developments? But Jackson County is 60% agriculture too, which is a one home per 1 acre allowance for density. And so that could become an issue, like in a very remote area of Jackson County where there aren't any public services available. But in general, any development that we see that comes in that wants to create a greater than 1-to-1 density is going to have to come before the board.
Let me pose a hypothetical. Let's say if a family member were to be moving back to Jackson County, they had a very small acreage, let's say 1 acre, and you had two relatives or heirs who want to put homes on that 1 acre.
Mhm.
Are there exceptions to those kind of situations?
In that situation, if one of the relatives owns the property, then as long as they fall within the definition, according to the Florida statutes, of an immediate family member, they could give them smaller than 1 acre to develop on. But if not, they would have to request a comprehensive plan amendment, and we're going to look at urban sprawl as one of the criteria of whether we recommend that be approved or not.
Okay, I just don't think we're getting close to urban sprawl status.
Not at this time, no,
Okay,
but it could happen.
thank you.
Any other questions? Okay, we've got a motion from Commissioner Crutchfield. We do not have a second at this time.
I'll second.
Got a motion from Commissioner Crutchfield, second from Commissioner Spires. Any other questions? Comments? Hearing none. All those in favor of the motion as stated, please signify by raising the right hand. All opposed, same sign. That motion also carries unanimously. That completes section 2, public hearing. Moving down to section 3, community development. Item number 1 is approval to set a public hearing for an addition to Sunstop gas station out at the I-10, out close to the I-10 71 interchange. Mr. Dean?
Just like you said, Mr. Donafro, requesting the board to set a public hearing on January the 13th, 2026, to hold that public hearing.
Got a request to have a public hearing on January 13th to consider this issue. So moved. Got a motion from Commissioner Branch, second from Commissioner Spires. Any questions, comments? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion as stated, please signify by raising the right hand. All opposed, that motion also carries unanimously. Item 2 under community development. This is also a request to set a public hearing for a general DO or for Wynwood RV Resort and Campground. Mr. Dane.
Yes, sir. Set a public hearing on the same date, January the 13th, like you said, Mr. Donafro. This is a proposed RV park. The public hearing will allow the public to make comment because there is a proposed exception associated with this public hearing, which is to use Ag 2 land for the proposed project.
But the request at this time is just to set the public hearing for the January 13th date.
Yes, sir.
So moved.
A motion from Commissioner Spires, second from Commissioner Crutchfield. Any questions, comments, concerns? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion as stated, please symbolize by raising the right hand. All opposed, same sign. That motion also carries unanimously. Complete section 3, community development, moving down to section 4, which is reports and requests. First item is the consent agenda item. I trust everyone's had a chance to look at the items contained in the consent agenda. And with that being the case, Chair will entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda, unless there's some questions.
I have a question, Chairman.
Go ahead, Commissioner Smyers.
Approve the settlement agreement, Mr. Dean.
Yes, sir, Mr. Spires. This was an incident that happened several months ago where we had an individual that was on the landing or the dock at the Spring Creek property that the county owns. They were on the dock and a section or a portion of the dock collapsed and the individual was injured. The Warner Group has represented the county on that issue and has worked with the injured party, and they are the ones that have worked out and negotiated the settlement agreement with the party. And so the insurance carrier will pay 100% of the settlement along with the mitigation costs associated with that process.
Is there any where that settlement amount is indicated?
Yes, sir, if you give me 1 second, Mr. Spire.
Page 49.
Page 52, paragraph 3. And also the next paragraph after that addresses the mediation that they will pay for as well.
Come on in, Chairman Westbrook.
Is there, I see the lean from Sunshine Health, I see that amount. Am I overlooking something?
The on page 3 of 7 in the agreement, page 52.
3 of 7?
Yes, sir.
Paragraph.
Ready now.
Oh, I think I see this. Section 3?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
And the cause of that accident, I think I know that, but just to ask the question, Rhett, that's been repaired and whatever was the cause of the accident has been mitigated. That being the case, I'll offer a motion to approve the consent agenda as included in our packet.
Got a motion? I make a motion to approve.
Motion. I made you second. You made a motion.
Who?
Mr. Dunn.
Oh, you made a motion? Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you still read it. Okay.
Any discussion? All, raise your right hand. All opposed? Okay, moving on.
Mr. Westbrook, the next item on the agenda is item number 2, which is to ask the board to set a special meeting to conduct interviews for new attorney for the Board of County Commissioners. There were 6 packages received. The ranking committee ranked them and has completed their ranking. The ranking, I believe, is in the book that has been provided to the commissioners. And so we're asking the commissioners if January the 6th, starting first thing in the morning, would work and have 30-minute interviews with each party or each attorney that would be interviewed. So asking.
I've got two pre-construction conferences and a pre-bid conference that morning, starting at 10. Any way we can do it in the afternoon?
That's at the pleasure of the commission.
That suits me, all right. What's the pleasure of the rest of the board?
Are we going to limit, did you say 30-minute
30-minute interviews, yes, sir. And, unless the board has would like to do it, whatever they want to do, but we're worked on at least 10 questions that each attorney would be asked so that we would be consistent in what they are asked and so that you could rank or, form an opinion of their response.
I could do it, starting at 8 o'clock. If that's not too early, we'll do it in the afternoon. Those are,
What day is that? What day is that?
The 6th.
6.
which is a Tuesday, correct?
And, again, it's up to the board if y'all want to do an afternoon. And another question would be is if you want to interview all 6 or just the top 4.
So we had 6 respondents total.
Only had 6.
And the ranking committee, but at our direction, whittled those down from 6 to 4.
They ranked all 6 of them and, based on the board's decision was to interview the top 4, they have identified those top 4, but there was only 6, so.
So they rank them from best to least?
Yes, sir.
And the questions already predetermined what we're supposed to ask, is that right?
And we would run those questions by each one of the board members so that, we would welcome any input whatsoever.
I guess
Sometimes a person's response generates a need for another question, a follow-up question.
Yes, sir. And that's completely up to the board to ask additional questions.
To the board or to each?
That'd be your right.
Each commissioner.
That'd be your right to ask as a board member.
I'm sorry.
That would be your right to ask as a board member.
Oh, okay.
Mr. Westbrook, question for, Carrie, council. Since we've kind of basically started out by saying that we were gonna interview the top 4 teams, would that give rise to a potential, what's the word I'm looking for?
Protest.
Yeah, by the other firms if we were to change midstream and interview all 6?
No, as long as you give them all notice that all 6 are gonna be interviewed as opposed to the top 4. At that point in time, they're on notice of that and it's totally within your discretion. And if, as the county administrator is saying, you just treat them all fairly within your interviews, ask similar questions, but obviously they will garner more questions and you want to be comfortable with your decision with your county attorney. So you have quite a lot of discretion when it comes to that.
And then at the end, I think the direction that we had given, to those respondents was at the end of that interview, whether we interview 4 or 6, it's gonna be up to us to rank those firms, in ascending or descending order as to the top ranked firm or all the way down to the lowest ranked firm. And then we would begin negotiations or, contract negotiations with the top ranked firm.
That was the plan, yes.
I don't have an issue with, interviewing all 6, if we could do it in the afternoon.
I don't have a problem with afternoon, I don't have a problem with doing all 6.
I agree. What about y'all? You all fit?
I'm okay with that.
You happy with that? How about you, Rick?
I mean, whatever time, that's
Well-
fine with me, I'll make it.
I'll offer a motion then here in, consensus among the, commissioners that we, set a special meeting to do the interviews, January 6th, starting at 1:00 and interview all 6 of the responding firms.
I'll second that.
Got a motion and a second. Any other discussion? Signify by saying aye, or right hand be fine. Unanimous consent.
Mr. Westbrook, the next item on the agenda is, the item number 3, which is a request to the board to approve the release of solicitation for generators, which are going to be placed at critical facilities. We engaged a engineering firm to prepare the solicitation, so that we could inspect those out. So now we're ready to put those out on the street for solicitation. We're asking for board approval to do so.
And what's that for? What did you say?
The generators that would be
Okay.
placed at, critical facilities.
How many are we talking about? There's 6 of them?
More than 10,
No,
less than 10, but more than 5.
you're right.
Narrows it down.
The Emergency Operations Center, County Admin Building, Road and Bridge.
Courthouse, jail, there's several, so this is one that's been stemmed from Hurricane Michael money, the Board of Commerce requires us to go back to the town rather than just do kind of a small scope work. So anyway, it's ready to go, and we do have a timeline on this money. It has to be spent, I believe September 26th, so we're trying to get it out, get it moving as quick as we can.
So just for clarification, the specifications have been written. They're by DHM. They've been prepared by DHM, and we're ready to go to bid for the provision and installation of these critical facility generators.
Dr. Spires, you say?
I said it's 93,859. Is that just for the purchase of the windows? Is that right? Or does that include the generator?
That's, different projects, I think that.
The next agenda item.
Yeah.
So for the generator project, that'll be, generator and installation.
We have an idea what the cost is supposed to be. I mean,
I don't know. It's gonna be a lot.
But this is an HMGP.
It is, so
And CDBG.
HMDP that has a match portion, where I have another grant to cover that match. So one of the requirements when we did the design is now that we have it, when it comes back, if we need more money, we can go back to the state and try to continue the project. If we have to, we can eliminate some to reprioritize critical facilities and we have to drop a couple generators to get more critical, then we can do that.
Am I confused, or did I hear you say that FEMA would reimburse, will cover some of the costs? Or am I,
This is a federal grant stemming from Hurricane Michael, so it is 100% grant funded at this time.
thank you.
All right, heard the recommendation, what's the board's pleasure?
Move we approve the request.
Got a motion?
Second.
Got a second? All in favor, signify by raising your right hand. Move along.
Mr. Westbrook, item number 4 is the request board approval to do direct purchases. If the board will remember, out at the Endeavor property, we received a grant from the state of Florida Secretary of State. And also there were TDC funds that were put into the project to basically secure or put for the proposed museum out there. Involves a roof, windows and doors, and making the foundation structurally sound. That project was bid out. The commission has awarded the project, and there is going to be some purchases made out there that could save the county money if we agree to do direct purchases where the county would actually pay directly using grant funds and TDC funds, but we would purchase them directly to save on the tax. We wouldn't have to pay the taxes. It's a common practice all the time for cities and counties. And so we're asking the board to allow us to do direct purchases for this project.
We gonna need to deed the state anything for paying for all that in Endeavor.
But the savings could go towards not having to put any more money into the project.
I understand. I've been involved with those.
Chairman, I need to recuse myself from this item and the following item. As you recall, this is the third of the 3 projects that our firm was engaged by David Melvin to provide architectural services for. I will remind the board and the audience that we were selected by DHM to provide these services prior to me becoming a county commissioner. I still need to recuse myself.
Mr. Clerk, you, for the record, thank you.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to approve the direct purchase material for Jackson County Endeavor. Authorize the chairman to sign.
All right, I have a motion, I have a second. I have a second. A second.
Jim, you seconded just then?
No, I didn't
Oh.
second it, no.
No, I
Darren
did. I
Oh, okay. Okay, we've got a motion from Commissioner Crutchfield and a second from Chairman Westbrook. Any questions? Comments? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion as stated, please signify by raising the right hand. All opposed, same sign.
Can I,
Yes, sir.
Ask a question, but
I just have a problem with this project. I'm sorry, I just have a problem with this project. If the state wanted to come in here and do that, that's fine. I just don't think we should be, and this may not be, I just don't think we should be putting county money in something that.
well, this is not county money.
No,
This is all,
county money.
am I correct? I mean, this is all.
From the word
legislative.
go, or are we gonna have to put some county money?
These TDC funds, a lot of our.
These are legislative funds,
And
all
TDC
legislative
funds, which are
TDC
collected from the
We're
folks.
constantly depleting the TDC fund.
This was already approved by the Board of County Commissioners. This is actually just a way to save funds by doing these direct.
I understand that, but I'm saying we're just constantly robbing the TDC funds. I think with issues that, the other issues that need to be considered funding. My personal opinion.
Well, you're, excuse me, you're right, Commissioner, because one day this stuff will have to be replaced again. And
Hitting the funds that the TDC put in there, you can't use it for stuff like that. You can't use it for anything.
It can't be used for just anything. It has to be used.
So, I mean, you got a $500,000 grant. and the money that being paid come from TDC is bed tax money. And it's people that's pay for that is out of county people. I mean, there aren't that many people in the county gonna be staying in a motel. I mean, I don't see why you wanna give back $500,000.
This board authorized the TDC funding mechanism to be put in place, and I think it's our responsibility to make sure that it's governed accordingly.
Yeah.
The other aspect to that is that there are things that are gonna come up throughout our tenure, or whoever sits up here, that there's gonna be a need to expend TDC funds. We're putting all in the Endeavor project, and it still looks horrible. It's a horrible eyesore, and we keep dumping more and more money into it.
Well,
And do we have a budget proposal to operate the project out there? What is the county budget to operate the Endeavor project?
And Mr. Spires, remember, all we're
No,
doing.
what's the money? What's the budget? There's no budget. How can you operate a facility, you have no budget proposed for it?
Yes, sir.
That's senseless.
Yes,
Even my small household, I have to have a budget for paying the bills.
yes.
But we have this facility, that a huge facility, and we accepted it without questioning. We were happy to get it. How are we gonna keep it going?
And Mr. Spires, the facility, once it's completed, because we've already awarded the contract, would not be occupied, and there would be no budgeted funds for that specific facility, for an extended period of time until their work wasn't approved.
But Mr. Dean, with all due respect, it exists out there. We got to fund it. We got to pay the electric bills. We got to pay the maintenance costs. Is there a defined budget to do that?
Not for that facility, because there will be no electricity, and there will be no one occupying that building.
Ms. Q?
For, once this project is complete, it's just to dry it in. There's no improvements like in,
What about future? We were supposed to be recruiting people to come to the
Yes.
Endeavor site. What's the budget for that?
for the entire 1,200 acres. We have certain facilities out there, Partners for Pets. We have the old school out there that we're paying electricity bills on. That is, beyond that, we do not have any plans to open another building.
But you have to agree, Partners with Pets certainly not gonna finance
No.
that building.
But the convention center as well, too.
Yeah. Well, there's some questions about that too.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead,
That's my
Mr. Dan.
position.
That's all right. Go ahead, Mr.
I
Dan.
just want to make a quick point, Dr. Fire, to your issue at hand. I think it's a valid issue. However, the agenda item is to reduce costs of the
I
current
understand.
project.
I understand.
So to deplete, the funds of the TDC, this is an effort to help save some of those funds,
Right.
not be expended doing direct purchases. So without approving this item in particular, we're gonna be spending more, but this is
I
an
understand.
active project. So
I understand that.
I mean, it looked like it was kind of a dead head. I want to make sure we're clear. We're going to pay more if this doesn't pass today.
I understand your point,
Okay.
and I appreciate your point, so I'm just trying to think ahead.
I understand.
Mr. Crutchfield.
I know a lot of people that don't know, and they think all that's being paid for by tax money from Jackson County. But most of all that work has been done out there, has been grant money.
It has been grant money.
It come from,
The state of Florida.
it might be a little bit of the Jackson County, but it's very little. Most of it come from,
State of Florida.
it did cost Jackson County taxpayers hardly anything.
That's correct.
So that's the reason it's not moving that fast. So we're not putting actually money into it out of our pocket.
That's correct.
That's-
The question, with all due respect, those grant dollars are going to dissipate. And then it's gonna be the county's responsibility to maintain.
But the idea, and again, this is looking long range, because as Mr. Dean stated, at the end of this project, which has already been approved, and as Mr. Rhett Daniels explained, this is just basically approving direct purchase to purchase these items. They've got to be purchased. We've already approved the contract. We signed a contract with Monolith Construction Company to put these doors and windows in. And if we don't approve this, it's just gonna cost the county more money. So I mean, to me, this is a no-brainer. I understand your hesitation with the overall project. But if we don't approve this, the windows have got to be purchased. This is just purchasing through direct purchase to save on the sales tax.
This is a sales tax. savings is basically what it amounts to,
Purchase.
because we take the sales tax off.
If we don't approve this, we're gonna be paying the sales tax on these items.
That's
We're
well
gonna
said.
purchase them, we're just gonna pay sales tax.
Well said.
By approving this, we're saving the sales tax.
Mr. Bryant?
I realize that this is all we're approving this morning. But any other expenditures out there will come before us in the future, right? Yes.
It will.
Everything.
Relative to this project?
Yes.
Direct purchase is what, there will be other,
I'm sorry, Mr.
Go ahead.
Dr. but in this request is to request that future purchases just for this contract, this purchase and other purchases that we can do direct purchase to save money, then we're asking for approval on that. And Mr. Chairman, if I could, and I know Mr. Spires is looking long-term, and I appreciate that, is that, one of the things that we want to bring to this board is the solicitation for a real estate person that can help us with marketing and potentially disposing of some of that property. So I understand what Mr. Spires is saying, and I appreciate it. I just, thinking long-term, we don't need everything that's out there.
And there'll be a cost associated with the disposition of those buildings too, right?
A process.
Yeah, there'll be a cost associated with that, right?
Yes, sir.
If there's no budget though.
and again, looking long-term, and nobody has a crystal ball, but the idea is once that museum building the construction is finalized and whether that's in 2027, 2028, I think a lot of that's gonna be dependent on getting future grant fundings to finalize that and get a museum open and operational. The idea is that it becomes self-sustaining. I don't know whether it will be, but that's the idea.
I think we'll find ourselves up here doing budget being trying to come up with dollars to support it.
And that's okay. I mean, if it brings in additional tourists that will want to come to that museum and learn about the history of Jackson County and learn about the history of Dozier School for Boys, even though it may cost us some dollars and I'm not saying it will, even though it may cost us some dollars to help fund the operation of that. If on the other side of it, it's bringing in tourists that are staying in hotels, purchasing gas, bringing in TDC dollars to Jackson County, that's a good thing.
It's the kind of project that you want to say, well, I got to vote for it, but I got to hold my nose. And so that may be the way to look at it right there, right?
I wouldn't hold my nose.
Well, that's the favorite expression of some people at times, and it's been mine for a long time.
This is just a vote to save dollars, to save the county dollars. We're not gonna be, this is a vote to not pay sales tax.
This is all it is saving sales tax, basically.
Well, let's save it.
Still got a point.
Save a
You got a
dollar.
point.
You know, I gotta-
You got a different point.
I gotta say this, I'm
That's
sorry.
okay.
Commissioner Donovan, I can see your point of view as a commissioner, but now remember, you also recused yourself.
Yeah, well, I have
So,
to.
but you got a lot of comments pro.
Yeah.
So, to me, that's conflict. There's an over on that. You recusing yourself, but yet you
And I would
defending it.
in all due respect, Dr. Spires, Commissioner Donifro knows a lot about that more than most anybody up here on
I
this
said,
board, and
but
I
you
admire him
can't-
for telling us.
But you can't recuse yourself and sit there and verbally support it.
Well, there's a lot about knowing what you're gonna do. That's like paving a road or drilling a well. If you don't know, you'll just have to live with it.
I've said in peace, okay? Thank you.
Okay, good. Everybody got in? Go ahead.
I will agree
Right.
to vote in the affirmative for this particular thing.
Say that again.
I will agree to vote in the affirmative for this particular motion.
So is that a second?
That's the second or whatever we need to do.
I
They've
second.
already got
second.
You've already got
Already got a motion and a second.
Okay, so
Westfield and Westbrook
we're voting now.
voting.
Okay, so all those in favor of the motion as put on the table by Commissioner Crutchfield, seconded by Chairman Westbrook, please signify by raising the right hand. All opposed, same sign, motion carries 3-1.
Dr. Spires, if you move over here and hold his hand.
Already.
And Commissioner Spires voting no.
All right, carry on. Motion passes. We're gonna save the sales tax and not send it to Tallahassee. We're gonna hold that over here without it.
Mr. Westbrook, the next item, number 5, is a request to the board to approve change order number 1 for the museum project. All this is doing is adding an additional 90 days to the project. It is not changing the cost. It's just adding additional time. I believe it was the last meeting, the board approved an extension of the grant agreement. This change in the contract timeline is in conjunction with that approval of the grant agreement. It coincides with the grant agreement. So we're asking for board approval to change order number 1 to extend the time of the contract.
And is there a valid reason for them putting it off or just time?
Originally, it was going to be a substantial rush to get the work done. We're gonna have to, and potentially not get it done on time, but the state agreed to extend the grant agreement. And so, in conjunction with that, we're asking the board to give them additional time as well.
All right, heard the recommendation.
Make a motion to approve it.
Mr. Crutchfield makes a motion. I need a second.
Also need to recuse myself.
Okay, you recuse.
Nothing.
Got a motion and a second to approve. All in favor, raise your right hand. All opposed, the same sign. Pass. Shots fired today. Carry on.
Mr. Westbrook, this is item number 6. This is associated with the CDBG COVID grant at Jackson Hospital, where the Jackson County Board of County Commissioners facilitated the ability for the hospital to get dollars from the state, which is originally federal dollars, to make necessary improvements to the hospital. And it was associated with COVID. This change order adds an additional $283,194.90 to the project, where they're making improvements that have been identified by the Agency for Healthcare Administration that are necessary at the hospital. So this brings the additional funds into the contract.
Chair, I move to approve the change order and authorize the chair to sign.
Motion and a second. Everybody in favor of that, raise your right hand. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. And just to add one thing, we ran past it. If anybody in this building has ever done sales tax, like we're talking about the last motion, that's one of the hardest things you'll ever do as a contractor, is to work that out. Now, if you only got one item, probably not a problem, but I worked with the Jackson County on one time, and it's a struggle. So anybody that does that earns it. Now, I yield my time back.
Okay, next item, Mr. Westbrook, is item number 7, and this is an amendment to our current construction engineering inspection services agreement with DHM, where they're providing the CEI services at the hospital for this specific project. Since we're adding additional funds and it's taking additional time, we want to amend their agreement to add additional dollars to continue to pay for the CEI services at the hospital. So we're asking that the board approve the amendment to their contract, which adds an additional $95,000 to the CEI services agreement.
So is this, real quick,
Go ahead, Dr. Parker, for 1 second.
Mr. Dean, what additional engineering services will be required?
It's primarily Mr. Spire's inspection services at the hospital that are being done, protecting the interests of the hospital and the county to make sure the work is done appropriately.
What duration of time?
Mr. Spires, I don't have the final completion date, and I don't know if Lindsay or Rhett have that in front of you or could pull that agreement up.
so has the contract, I think it's Weir that's doing that work?
Yes, sir.
Weir Construction, as a part of this change order that we just approved, the $283,000 change order, has their contract time been increased as part of that as well? I didn't get a chance to look at or just the cost?
The, cost is the only thing that's associated with the agenda item number 6.
They didn't ask for any additional time associated with that additional work scope. I didn't see it in there, but. And then I guess my second question is this additional $95,000, is that for CEI services associated with just this additional work? Or is that CEI services for the entire project?
Mr. Donafro, I missed that, and, you know, with that being said, I would ask the board to table this until we can get, additional information.
I'd make a motion to table it.
I'll second.
Got a motion and a second to table that. All in favor, raise your right hand. Any further discussion?
I just
Go ahead.
another question here.
Yeah.
I know these are grant funded that's primarily being channeled through the Board of County Commissioners, is that right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Was there a bid process utilized in
Yes, sir.
this process, or did the hospital just go out and contract with somebody?
No, sir, it had to meet the CDBG requirements, they had to do a competitive bid process.
Okay, do we have a list of the bidders that I have?
Yes, we can provide that list of
Okay.
bidders.
All right, thank you.
Let me make myself here. Number.
Mr. Daniel?
So I know it's tabled, but just for information, the original completion date was January. This change order does add 60 days to both CEI and construction.
Is your mic on, Mr. Daniel?
Yeah.
Is your mic, okay, it doesn't sound like.
So it's probably fair to say then, Rhett, that this additional dollars requested by DHM is associated with the additional time of the project extending longer than what they anticipated. So they'll have manpower on site for that additional 60 days.
Yes.
Right.
That's
Go
what
ahead.
expressed my concern here, you know, I just know that these are grant dollars and it has to be channeled through the Board of County Commissioners. I just want to make sure that the bid process was not adhered to. Was adhered to.
Was
Yes,
adhered.
Was adhered to, yes.
Yes, sir. And
is
I
that
don't see a problem.
These are legal questions to ask. Does the board need to know that?
It is a valid question to ask, and I know that it can be brought up with it. As the county administrator stated, they would have had to go through some sort of competitive
That's fine.
process.
Just want-
So, we should be able to provide you that info.
Okay, just want to make sure we was on the right
And,
page here.
and Mr. Spires will provide you with the certified bid tabulation so that you'll have.
That's fine. Thank you.
Everybody happy? We'll move on. Move
Okay,
on.
so we have tabled number 7.
Yes, sir.
That's Westbrook. Okay. All right, moving on to number 8.
Excuse me one second. We right right there, aren't we, Mr. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Moving on to number 8, the board, asking board approval for the grant agreement for the FWC Fish and Wildlife Commission grant agreement associated with Magnolia Landing, to do a design and feasibility study to improve and enhance the features at Magnolia Landing. This is a 100% grant provided under the Florida Boat Ramp Improvement Program, and we're asking for board approval of the grant agreement.
Well, for a motion to approve the grant agreement and authorize you as chairman to sign, Mr. Westbrook.
Thank
And this is welcome news. I know that we've been dealing with problems down at Magnolia Landing as far as parking,
Yes.
parking organization, amount of parking, access to the river via the ramp that's there now. Once we accept this grant agreement, I guess that we'll engage an engineering firm or a planning firm to go through that process.
Yes, sir. We've been discussing with DHM on this one, as well as neighbor property owners and other stakeholders to make sure we accommodate all interested parties' recommendations.
And once we get started with that, since this is my district, I'd like to be apprised of that process and take part in some of those discussions and some of those meetings, if it's okay.
Could we just park those cars and all on the other side of the river? Just,
Build a bridge across there.
A motion to second, Mr. Bryant, a motion to second to approve, all in favor, raise your right hand, all opposed, same sign, move along.
Next item, Mr. Westbrook, is number 9. This is request board approval of the purchase agreement or the sale agreement associated with the surplus property that y'all have previously approved we accepted the bid, now we want to actually convey the property via this sales contract, asking for the board to approve the, sales agreement.
Formality, more or less.
So move, Mr. Chairman.
Got it. A motion, and a second by Dr. Spires. All in favor, raise your right hand. All opposed, the same sign. Move along.
Mr. Westbrook, the next item, item number 10, is associated with the DEP State Revolving Fund loan agreement that we have with the state of Florida to install or to construct the water system finish the water system in Indian Springs. This amendment actually will extend the loan agreement timeframe to accommodate the completion of the work, and it pushes our first payment on those loan funds back just over a year. The agreement extends it to October of 2026, and our first payment would be due in April of 27.
Doesn't change the amount of payment.
It potentially has a little bit of impact because there'll be capitalized interest on the amount of money that we have extended or taken from them so far, but pretty insignificant.
What's the board play?
Approval.
Got a motion and a second to approve. All in favor, raise your right hand. All opposed, the same sign. Move along.
Mr. Westbrook, item number 11 is a request for a revision to our unclaimed remains policy. We currently, this will make it where we have a flat fee for both the pickup of unclaimed body and the cremation and maintaining those remains after the cremation. It consolidates two processes into one, and we historically have paid $400 for the transportation, and we have also the pickup and cremation we paid for separately. This consolidates it into one policy. It's been reviewed by neighbors Gibling and Nickerson, and we're asking for board approval.
I have a question, if I may. Is that significant? Is that a significant amount of money? Oh, excuse me.
And I'll let Lindsay jump in too. Right now, we have two pots of money for the transportation and one pot for the cremation. And I guess we will consolidate those funds into one source. And Lindsay, I'll let you jump in.
They're currently housed in the same location, the funds, but previously having to go to bid for the cremation of the unclaimed remains, even though we only have about 5 or so bodies per year for this purpose. But this policy allows us to have a flat fee that's set instead of bidding out something that's really a low dollar cost.
So significantly, pardon me. So it's not a significant amount, hopefully. $2,000 or $3,000, you would say.
And we do have to transfer the unclaimed bodies to Panama City, Bay County.
Yes, sir, to the Bay County Medical Examiner. That's what the $400 transport fee is there now.
Question.
Yes, sir, go right.
Is that on a rotational basis with the, general directors in the county or?
Rotation basis. Yes.
Okay.
And can you, by chance, give us the history of the rotation basis? The rotation basis that we've had in times past. Could we get that? Could we see that?
Whenever law enforcement gets called.
What would it take to have that available?
It would take me a little time to dig that up.
Just something where we could peruse and look at it, that'd be all right.
Mr. Westbrook, and Lindsay, I'm slow, but are you wanting just the list of?
Yes, sir. Yeah, well, just to show us that somebody not stubbing their toe and someone get all of it all the time. If we got on a rotational basis, we need to show that, in my opinion.
Yep. So the list and who we used in the past.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Go right ahead.
Are we seeing in this that It's going, we're gonna pay one set amount to transport and the cremation?
Yes, sir.
What if you got two different? What happens if you call somebody at night,
Okay.
then one on rotation can't come? You call somebody to transport, but then you wind up with another funeral home doing the cremation.
Yes, sir, so this policy, whoever is available to pick up the individual and transport them will be the ones who will do this cremation for the flat fee.
So if they come, they're gonna do all of it.
If they refuse that they can't do it, then it's gonna go to the next person.
Go ahead, Mr. Kirk.
Mr. Chairman, and it might suffice the board, we can print out a general ledger for like the last 24 months. Who was paid, so you can see there, you know, who was paid, who was called in, and then you may have questions for them after that, but we can show you who was paid
Thank you.
in the last 24.
Yeah, thank you. I'm not trying to take advantage of somebody or poll.
No, I mean, that will
Just
show you
for us
guys.
to look and make sure that we happy with it.
And then Lindsay can, you know, if y'all have any questions, she can address that. Thank you, clerk.
Offer a motion that, we adopt the revised unclaimed remains policy that's, included in the board packet.
Second.
Got a motion and a second, all in favor, right hand. All opposed, the same sign, move along.
Mr. Westbrook, the next item on the agenda is to ask the board to ratify the interim county attorney services that we will be receiving from Neighbors, Gibling, and Nickerson. And as previously said, Ms. Carrie Parsons is here with us this morning. So we're asking the board to ratify that interim agreement.
Make motion approved.
Got a motion to approve, got a second by Mr. Bryant. Any discussion? All in favor, raise your right hand, all opposed, the same sign. Now we got the lady, now you pay.
Mr. Westbrook, the next item, number 13, we're asking the board to for ratification of the issuer's council opinion. As the commission remembers, we, instead of leasing motor graders, we are going to purchase the motor graders that we'll have on the lot or at the county within the next month or two. And in conjunction with borrowing that money through the Florida Association of Counties organization, we had to have a review of the loan resolution that was already in place, as well as the documents associated with closing the loan. And so we needed to get an attorney to do that. And that's what we're doing, is asking the board to ratify the issuer's counsel opinion that was issued on that loan and the loan document. I rambled pretty hard there.
I did too.
So was the opinion that everything was good? I mean, there was no issues with the,
Yes, we reviewed all your documentation and the certifications that were previously provided and determined that everything was in place necessary to make the bank comfortable, that you were good to go.
Thank you. What's the board's pleasure?
Make a motion approved.
Mr. Crutchfield making a motion, we approve.
second.
Donna approve, second. All in favor, raise your right hand. All opposed, the same sign, move along.
Mr. Westbrook, the last item on the agenda is a request for board approval of agreement to sell the cottage, one of the cottages adjacent to the existing cottages at the Endeavor property to Chrome. They already own 3 cottages in that immediate area. This would be a 4th cottage that they would acquire and improve. Mr. David Stepp is here with Chrome.
Come right ahead.
They have a donor that's willing to purchase the property right now. They've been very aggressive at trying to make it happen if the board wants to make it happen. And so we're asking for the board to approve the agreement if we move forward with this.
You recognize. Go ahead.
How you doing? David Stepp, Executive Director.
Thank you for coming.
The 4th building with detention, what that is gonna be used for. Now granted, this building is probably the roughest of them all out there. So like you mentioned, the eyesore, we're doing everything we can to make this as beautiful as possible too. The intentions for that building would be for a classroom for the women, because there'll be 45 women there, starting the 2nd of next month, okay? A commercial kitchen, recreation room, clothing room, and a place that we can manage food services and stuff like that out of that building. We have a donor, he put a kind of hard request on us, was to close by the end of this month to do this, for his reasons of taxes for next year. And that's what we're here asking you guys to do. The building itself is probably, like I said, the worst of them all, you know, but it's okay. You know, God's story of redemption is pouring out all over Endeavor out there. And we have a grand opening and a ribbon cutting. I have some invitations for you guys too, for next month, for January 21st, on the very first building. It's amazing. It's beautiful. But
And like Mr. Stepp said, I did get the opportunity to go in one of the buildings, and it is, you know, it's amazing at what they've done to that building. It looks really nice. And again, this further reduces liability associated with Jackson County whenever we transfer ownership of this facility. And the purchase price was $40,000.
I'll echo what Mr. Dean said, as I have had the opportunity to go through a number of those buildings that Chrome has renovated. And the one that you've got the ribbon cutting for turned out really well. I know that Chrome did quite a bit of the work themselves, performed quite a bit of the work themselves using some of the clients out at across the street at the old Mariana Middle School, and turned out real well. And I'm looking forward to seeing it being utilized.
thank you.
We thank you for coming. Anybody got, go ahead, Dr. Starr.
Mr. Brooks, I guess this is a question for you. Where would the proceeds from the sale of that building, if it can pass, where would you park those funds?
It'd be at the direction of the board, what y'all want to do, I think.
If I could, Mr. Brooks, I believe that the clerk's office established a restricted account for those funds, especially with the previously sold properties. So that money resides in an account associated with the Endeavor property to make improvements, to potentially, you know, clean up some of the property and do things of that nature.
So it's in a restricted account for the betterment of Endeavor project.
Yes.
Thank you.
Y'all heard the recommendation, what the board
I'll
pleasure?
offer a motion to approve the purchase of the fourth cottage located at 2659 Oak Lane to Chrome Ministries for the sale amount, proposed sale amount of $40,000.
Got a motion and a second. Mr. Brandt?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. All in favor, signify by raising your right hand. All opposed, same sign.
Thank you.
Welcome to the community. You come right on. We're
I'm gonna-
glad to have you. Yes, sir.
Good luck with getting
Thank
it
you, sir.
closed out.
We'll grant you that time.
Especially right during the holidays.
We'll grant you that time.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Good to see you, bud.
Good to see you.
Anybody else like that?
Is that the end of the agenda there?
Yes, sir. That was the final item, Mr. Westbrook.
Let me say about, yes, sir. Let me say just a couple of words. And what, whoever is listening and wants to listen, they got to remember that some of us sitting up here on this board come from a little rural place that there's not any stores and buildings. So naturally, when you speak Endeavor every time, and we agree to a lot of things about Endeavor. So remember and don't hold us hostage over that. Because when you go back to where you live, like Bascom, Florida, up there on the creek where Dr. Spires live, or down there at Shady Grove where Mr. Branch live, we all have to justify that in a lot more ways than we justify it right here at this board by approving and not approving. So it's a pretty good challenge sometimes. And they don't see where that comes from the state. They don't see this or that. All they see is dollars being spent. And most of them think it comes out of this board and Jackson County's money. And so remember that whenever we go to question and asking, the same way with Mr. Crutchfield, where he lives, he don't live necessarily in a big metropolitan area either. But at the same time, bear with us. And maybe we'll have a product that will hopefully in time, as we're seeing all over the other parts of the country, begin to get bigger and flow and all that. So I'm not a orator, excuse me, or a speech giver, but at the same time, that's what we all have to think about here. As Dr. Spires once said, we have to get elected. So anyway, that's all I have to say. Anybody else have?
Can I add a comment to your oration there?
Go right.
He thought dollars should be spent countywide. That's all I have to say.
Well, and basically that's spent for countywide, but I know the appearance of it is not what you and I look at always. So,
When I say countywide, I mean in all municipalities.
yes, well, we got some small ones and there's no stores in hardly any of
Yeah,
them.
I'm not saying in equal amounts, but those dollars should be expended
Yeah.
to enhance program, whether it be youth development, recreation, or whatever, in all municipalities.
I accept that, but now, and when you turn right back around, we all supposed to have about the same amount of constituents. So as far as you say, we have,
Good point.
absolutely. But anyway, I'm not opposed to that. I just want just record this, scatter that on the minute.
And I'll say, I always have said what's good for Jackson County is good for all parts of Jackson County. And, I mean, if the county is growing, whether that's Mariana or Graceville, it's good for all of Jackson County. We're all on the same team. We don't need to be pulling in separate directions.
I'm not opposed to your comment, Commissioner Donovan, but what I'm saying, if you look at historically, things have not been distributed equally. Now, I'm saying based upon the size of the town, I'm not saying that Baston should give what Mariana gets necessary for recreation, but based upon the population. And I proposed that years ago that recreation was actually distributed based upon the population of the municipality. But let's just be mindful that we have a number of municipalities, and not just the one that was county seat. That's all I'm asking.
You want?
No, I would say what's good for Jackson
But
County.
go ahead.
is good for all.
That's good.
I know you got a short amount of money, and if you're going back to the $40,000 that come from the Endeavor property, and you talk about Endeavor, I always thought about that myself. But after being on the board, you see where a lot of that money coming from. It's not coming from taxpayer dollar. But if you sell that property from the Endeavor property, it can go back to, if you got a fund, it goes back to what's going to happen whenever the grant runs out. Well, that money can be in there to help subsidize us running out, or you may sell another building. Or like Mr. Donapro said, it enhances tourism. You don't know where that comes from. It's just, well, if you don't go out there, I mean, I had a business. If you don't go out there and work and put money toward it, you don't get anything back. So, but on the other hand, go back to you said all money needs to be spread equally. I agree there, but I've always been told that the squeakiest wheel gets the most grease.
That's correct. Especially in
and that may be what's happening.
And I think that's more Dr. Spires' point than anything.
Yeah.
We
And it shouldn't be
all
that
want to
way.
go forward, move forward, but
It shouldn't be that way. It's
might be pushing.
And I guess you're talking about a road department.
Yeah, and I want to beg tip with Commissioner Donovan, what's good for Mariana isn't necessarily always good for Jackson County.
Yeah.
That statement, I can't accept that.
Yeah, I know all the money goes into the road department, and in some places it takes more, depending on what happens. I mean, if it have a major rain in one, they call it east and west, more so over there, they're gonna have to do more over there. Or if it's more in the west, they're gonna need both to do more over there. Fix all, and that's all I ask. I know it's hard to take that money that goes into one thing and it delivers quarterly. Or now, you got a little bit more on District 3, got some more other than the city. So we got some dirt roads, so you got to deliver it, distribute it 4 and part of 3. So, it's just hard, it's harder to make the exact same amount be in this district, same amount be in that district. With the guy that's running the road department, he got to figure out how to fix this, fix that. And not that he's, I think, not taking away from one district to another, but, you know, job's gotta be done. So, you know, you gotta figure out, it's his job to figure out how to do it.
Mr. Daniel. Oh, go ahead, Dr. Spire.
If I could add to Commissioner Crutchfield's comment about the infrastructure in terms of road development. I've always been one to have, I have the second least number of dirt roads in the county. Last time I checked was about 168 miles. I think Commissioner Donapro had the least, and I was the second least.
I got the
You
most.
got the most. And I advocated when I was on this board before that when there are excess funds, let's distribute that to the commissioners' discretionary fund based upon the number of dirt roads. But in the past, everybody's got an equal share. Well, if you only got 10 miles, and I got 168, you got 400. It's not fair to do that on that kind of basis. That's absolutely wrong. And I've been trying to get this board to see that. You know, Commissioner Donatro may get $1 million bid for pave every dirt road he has left. I can't do that. So please keep that in mind when we're distributing funds that are going each district to the county. Please.
I had $3,700 when I went on the board.
Just can't do anything with that.
The rest of it was gone.
Yeah.
Mr. Daniel.
Yes, sir. I'd like to shift gears real quick if the board would allow. A number of weeks ago, Commissioner Donner reached out about getting an update on Mill Pond. And tonight, or today, I've invited Derek Fussell, the FWC Regional Basic Plant Management Biologist, to tell you what's going on with the Mill Pond, answer any questions. I confirmed it late, so it didn't make an official agenda item, but he was able to join us. So if y'all want to take a few minutes to hear from FWC.
We will, and also, I have got a committee, and you're welcome to come. We've been meeting all the time. We're satisfied with what we're hearing from him now. So yes, we have made some strides under his direction, and he's welcome to come forward if you like.
Thank you, Commissioners. I just wanted to give you an update on what's been going on the last few months. Early September, we treated with a 560-gallon drip application. During that application, it was a 48-hour drip application. During that time period, someone damaged the dam, opened up the control box, and opened up the water. So we had increased flow. We saw effects on the hydrilla, but we didn't see full effects, you know, knocking it back like it usually does. So November 5th, I came back and did an airboat applied application with a different herbicide. And from what I've looked at our satellite imagery and on the ground looking at the hydrilla, everything within the treatment area is brown and falling down, dead looking. November 6th, we stocked an additional 200 grass carp in the mill pond, which gets us, since March of 2023, up to 1,000 grass carp that we've stocked. These fish take 15 to 17 months before they're doing good. So our 2023 stocking, the 2024 stocking, those fish are working for us, eating the hydrilla. And then these 200 fish that we just put in this year, sometime in 26, early 27, will be doing good work for us. Our fisheries biologists have been doing snorkeling transects to count tilapia that were illegally introduced into the mill pond. And they have observed the grass carp that we've stocked aggressively eating hydrilla in their transects.
So,
I got quick, go ahead.
yeah, Derek, relative to the tilapia I mean, what's the take on that, I guess? I mean, is it?
They're an algae eater. They're people here that, you know, tilapia are vegetarians. But they only eat algae. They're not eating the hydrilla. They're not eating eelgrass. They're not eating anything that would reduce vegetation in the mill pond. They're eating algae.
Is the population of the tilapia increasing?
From residents that I've talked to, they're seeing an increase in numbers and of size.
Is that a negative thing or is it a positive thing?
After talking with Chris Paxton, our regional fisheries administrator, he thinks because they're prolific breeders, that they could provide a food source that could grow trophy bass in the mill pond. But there's no way to harvest them out. You know, people can bow fish them catch them with hook and line. But getting those fish out, 30+ years ago when I was in college, they're very difficult to electroshock. They don't respond like other scaled fish do. Brim, bass, all kind of float up to the top and are easily netted. It energizes the tilapia. You have to have a net in the right place and just catch them as they dart through the field.
Anybody else?
Yeah, so,
Mr. Daniels, let the record reflect that the district, where the mill pond is mine. I know y'all been operating one way and I've been operating another, but we'll need to be getting together as we do this, and be glad to be available.
but right now you'd say that the recent treatments, both the, spray boat, the spraying application, and the drip have been fairly effective?
Yes, sir. So we did 2 drips. We did one in the spring. It lasted a few months. I started seeing regrowth, so we started planning for a fall treatment with the drip. That one wasn't as effective as we'd like to carry us through the wintertime. So we did the Percellacor treatment. Right now, just from what I'm seeing, I'm thinking that we may do spot treatments in the spring. But if I notice anything in the early months of the next year, I've been told I don't have any issues with getting herbicide and doing additional drips or additional treatments.
And your recommendations, how many sprays?
Depends on how much we have, but if we do another drip, it would most likely be for the entire mill pond from Blue Springs down. So 2 drips.
So you're saying one more this whole next year? Is that what you're telling me?
It depends. So we may not have to do any full pond applications based on what I'm seeing right now. We have some spots that residents have told me they've seen above the old dam portion, but they're small enough that we could treat targeted treatments with the airboat.
So you have no recommendation on the numbers
No.
of times to spray? Will that come about on the number of spraying?
Based on historical applications and the way that they've done drip through our section, 2 per year has been the maximum number of applications, and that gets reduced to once a year.
And then, so I'm misinformed then, if I understand it correct, because some of the members of my committee, you had told them 3 to 4, so that's not true. Is that right?
That's what they were asking me to do. And I said, based on historical, Wakulla Springs was the same kind of the deal. And that regional biologist did spring and fall applications for 4 to 5 years.
Was Wakulla Springs as big as the mill pond?
Bigger.
Okay, and it was successful?
Yes.
Okay, how long ago did they do that?
I believe that was early 2000s.
All right.
Do you foresee, FWC being committed to continuing to provide
Yes, sir.
the eradication program?
Yes, sir.
That's good. I've heard, that from a couple of the residents that there's another invasive species. Well, they couldn't tell me a name. Is there any truth to that?
The only invasive, we have, water hyacinths have been on the mill pond for a time. I've treated those. There's nothing else that I'm aware of. I do know some of the residents have called me and they've seen a new plant to them, kind of taking the place of hydrilla around their docks. It's a macroalgae called Cara. If you crush it, it has a garlicky smell to it. It looks like a plant, but it's a macroalgae. It actually looks like coontail, it's bigger and fluffier than hydrilla. So people when they see it, they think it's a plant, but it's actually an algae, but it's common in the mill pond.
Chairman, I think, the committee that you put together, I know several people that have been active in that. If possible, it would be good to have Mr. Fussell, Derek Fussell come and be part of those.
He has been there.
Okay, good.
Mhm.
Good.
Not every time, but he has been there. Unfortunately, that's the government of sunshine works.
Yeah.
I mean, you and I both can't be there, but I yield my time to you if you want to go there.
I think that's a good thing, and we appreciate the effort on your part and FWC to help us, eradicate that, or at least keep it under control.
Yes, sir.
And the commitment going forward to continue to treat it as needed.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else got anything?
Before we,
I hear you go.
I do want to say that, I've had Hartsfield Road. I want to commend, Road and Bridge Department. I guess after the rains that we had last weekend, Hartsfield was in really bad shape, especially that first section from 71 all the way back to the first curb. I'm not sure exactly, Jeffrey, what was done, what George was able to do. It looked like they added some additional milling. But I rode the road over the weekend and it was in much better shape. I'm not sure if that's gonna be a continuous battle, but appreciate the work that Road and Bridge has done to get that. I will say this, it's in much better shape with the milling on it than it was being a dirt road, because it was nearly impassable at times for the residents that live on that road. So appreciate Road and Bridge doing that work, Jeffrey.
Wow.
I either drive 7 or 8 or 9 miles from my place or come through there, but that's only 2.5 miles right there. And it's much more convenient if you keep truck on the road.
Yeah.
And we've struggled, and what's so bad is it was when they first put that stuff down there before it got that rub board effect. It was very good, but anything they do to it will happen. I'm glad to see it.
Yeah, me too.
Anybody else? Speak now, hold your peace. Go ahead.
Westbrook, remember, we have the Christmas get-together function after this meeting, between, starting at 11:30, 11:45. Please, if you can, make it, and we look forward to seeing the commissioners there. And remember, we want you to say a few words, if you don't mind, once we get started. So please.
Well, once again, my apologies to the commission for being tardy. And I promise I won't do it again. And if you do, you can hold me to harm. Thank you very much. You got anything else?
Yep.
Where's it gonna be held?
At the convention center, I'm sorry.
Okay, okay.
We ready to roll? All right.
I'm gonna give this to Mr. Don.
And Endeavor,
Ma'am, this.
well, I want to say, at Endeavor.
I guess.
What was it?
I guess I'm good.
Yeah.